Well, ladies and gentlemen, they say that time heals all wounds, but also the internet is forever. So, Noble, Lost Pause, made a statement about VShojo's failure, their demise, their decline, Gun Run being an absolute piece of garbage. And this is basically stacked off of Silvervale coming out and revealing that during her brutal harassment campaign, by the way, which was worse than Pikami, worse than Iron Mouse, worse than anyone, she was targeted by the trans and LGBT community in a way that I haven't seen anyone have to experience in a long time. It was absolutely horrific to watch that. And the thing is, the reason that the trans and LGBT community went after Silvervale, and this is one of the most evil parts about it, is because she's a sweet, nice person that doesn't want to fight back. The trans community doesn't come to me or Asmongold or any of the type of people with thicker skin that will be more than happy to tell them that they're freaks and that they're disgusting and that they're abominations. They have, this sort of thing where, we may go after him, but we're going to go after the weakest people first. And I'm not saying that she's weak from the perspective of she's not able to do content or anything. I'm not disparaging her in that way. But it's obvious that Silvervale is somebody that's very nice, and she wants her content to be reflected in that sort of positivity, this sort of cozy, friendly demeanor. And it's obvious that she is not built to deal with the sort of vitriol that was headed her way because she said she wanted to play Hogwarts Legacy. Now, my issue with Lost Pause and my issue with Fruit, my issue with VShojo is that nobody really had her back. And even when they talked about these issues, when they brought it up, it was always, focusing maybe more on Pikami, sort of downplaying it a little bit, trying to smooth the edges. In fact, there's that infamous tweet from Lost Pause where he's responding to Fruit, where Fruit is saying, for every like, I'm going to donate $1 to mermaids, which is a disgusting, despicable organization that is in favor of transitioning children. And Lost Pause was like, very cool. Add me in for $1. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, well, it's interesting. The Bible talks about people who harm children, which the trans community absolutely advocates for. The Bible says, but whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the ocean. There's no ambiguity there, and it says it multiple times in the Bible. Now, the reason I have such an issue with this is because Noble, Lost Pause, I don't know what he likes to be called, he is currently in the midst of virtue signaling. VShojo was in the wrong here. Gun Run has come out and made this really pathetic statement. He got absolutely lambasted by Shy Lily in an amazing, amazing takedown. There's something about German women. They just have this brutality that I like. But Lost Pause says, I don't know why I expected competence at this point after everything Gun Run did. He is roaching out. He's going to claim the corporation is bankrupt and not pay the talent and charity what they deserve, all while making off with the funds he stole. The only thing bankrupt is his morals. Now, I actually agree with this, but the problem is who it's coming from. Now, I'm not saying that Noble Lost Pause is the worst person in the world. I'm not saying that he's like a Hassan Piker. He's a terrorist supporter. He's a guy that's a degenerate, narcissistic, subhuman piece of shit. But I do think this guy wants to have his cake and eat it too. I think he wants people to forget about the fact that he did put out that post in the midst of Silvervale being brutalized and bullied. I don't think I can really emphasize to you who weren't familiar with that just how absolutely devastating that was. I want to reiterate, I want to just really hammer this home. These people in the, ally or trans or LGBT community, they developed an app to track Silvervale and other content creators that would play Hogwarts Legacy. So it would notify them when they went live so that they could go and harass them. I want you to understand, they went after Silvervale's family, like everything you can imagine. They went after this poor girl, and it was terrible. I could not imagine myself, if I were in Lost Pause's position, reaffirming the transing of kids on the back of a Fruit tweet, who, by the way, was taking heat because Fruit went into Silvervale's chat and basically he said, like, we all make mistakes, referring to her saying that she was going to play Hogwarts Legacy. So this poor girl, Silver, was getting it from the outside and from the inside. And even she, in her video today, said that she had zero support. This guy wants to come out and respond to my comment, by the way. We're going to go over that in a minute. But I said, really? You're going to talk about bankrupt morals? I remember that when VShojo was backstabbing Silvervale during one of the most brutal and disgusting harassment campaigns in recent memory, you jumped in with Fruit to pile on and support the transing of kids. Kids, whether it was out of fear to oppose trans freaks who were brutalizing Silver, or because you genuinely believed it, the reality is that you people are in no position to say anything. Disgusting, backstabbing freaks, a lot of you. Now, this guy responded with a video that's 2 years old, but I want you to pay attention to something, all right? The thumbnail of this video is Peek Me.
What's going on, guys? And today,
the thumbnail of this video is Peek Me. This is the video that this guy brought out to say, I am defending Silvervale. This is the video that he presents to me. He could have picked any video. Let's see. What are the tags of this video? Hogwarts Legacy, Peek Me, Lost Pause. Okay. The thumbnail. It doesn't seem to have Silvervale. It has Peek Me. Huh. So are you going to tell me that, oh, no, I was defending Silvervale by not having her on the thumbnail, by not having her in the title, by not mentioning her at all, by not tagging her, by not doing anything. But no, maybe I mentioned her in the video. I want to do a juxtaposition between his video that he thinks is like some sort of refutation of what I said. I want to compare what he said and what I did with my video. All right? So this may take me a minute because I gotta scroll all the way down. This is a year ago. I've made a lot of content since then. We've grown a lot since then. But I mean, this was at least 2 years ago, actually. This wasn't just a year ago. But my thumbnail, my title, everything showed you that I stood with Silvervale. And the reason I stood with Silvervale is not because we were friends. She doesn't know me. Not then, nor now. She never asked me to do it. Never would. We disagree on 1,000 different things. We're not friends. We're never going to be friends. And I imagine that she would have very big disagreements with some of the way that I present information, and I make no apologies for the way that I present information, by the way. I make no apologies for that whatsoever. However, when we're dealing with a situation like this, I came out, and my support for Silvervale was unambiguous. There was no question about it. I came out and I stated very, very clearly. I stated very, very clearly that I support her. 100%. No ambiguity. In fact, I used her in the thumbnail.
You are pro-Zionist.
I used her in the thumbnail. That was a clip from another video.
Speaking, but he asked.
That was a clip from another video. But my point here is that I came out with a full-throated, complete endorsement of Silvervale because I thought that she was right. And I thought that anything less would be cowardly and pathetic. And in fact, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at what I was doing at the time. So I did this video, more derangement from these freaks, but the video in question that I'm talking about Let me see. I want to make sure I didn't pass it. No, 2 years. This one right here. Why I stand with Silvervale. Do you think there's any ambiguity there? Do you think why I stand with Silvervale in the thumbnail, a picture of her, and the title? No ambiguity. Now I wanna go over and compare it to Lost Paws. Okay, doesn't mention Silvervale at all, and unless I'm mistaken, there was nothing about her in the thumbnail. Now we're gonna react to this video because this is the video that this guy chose to bring up to refute what I said. Now, I want to make it abundantly clear. If this video comes out and makes a justification that is valid and logical about why this guy chose to say what he said, why he chose to say what he said in response to Fruit, why in the midst of Silvervale being bullied and harassed, why he chose to support a disgusting group that was in favor and supporting the transitioning of kids like mermaids. And for those who need a refresher, here it is. I'm sure many of you have seen this before. Here you've got Fruit from VShojo. It costs me $0 every day to be kind and accept people for who they are. So for every like this tweet gets, I'm donating $1 to mermaids, a charity that supports gender diverse children, transing kids. It's sort of like the Trevor Project. You may have heard of that. And here's Noble Lost Paws saying, adding another dollar from me. This is very cool. Well, it's not very cool. It's disgusting and it's despicable. And by the way, that in isolation is one thing. You know, I can condemn that all day and night in isolation, but this is in the midst of this brutal harassment campaign. You don't get to feign ignorance, my dude. You called me little bro. You don't get to pretend like you somehow came to her defense. And in a video today, she said that she was alone, that she had no support. And this is just obvious, that the people in VShojo didn't have her back. Some people were going rogue like Fruit, supporting the LGBT community over Silvervale and publicly trashing her, even in her own comments section, which, by the way, is just absolutely unconscionable. But here you've got Lost Paws supporting Fruit and the transing of kids. And so, Noble, if you want to prove that I'm wrong, let's say you don't like what I'm saying, fine. I totally understand. You don't like what I'm saying. If you could just pull up the videos and tweets that you made during that time vehemently and specifically and vociferously, let me repeat that, vociferously defending Silvervale, specifically by name. If you have that, by all means, send it to me, and I will be more than happy to retract my statement and admit that I'm wrong. My ego is not the size of pirate software or any number of people that is too big to admit when I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'd be happy to admit it. But I have a strange feeling that that's never going to happen because you have a video talking about Pikami. In large part, you may mention Silvervale. We'll see. I'm gonna go over that video and we'll see if he talks about Silvervale at all. If he mentions it a little bit or a lot, who knows? But if I'm wrong, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm willing to say that I'm sorry if I'm wrong. However, if I'm not wrong, if it's true that you're using this as a way to get out of responsibility for your own behavior, then I think you owe me an apology. Now, it'll never happen because I don't think that you're the type of person that has the testicular fortitude to really be that sort of introspective and realize that you fucked up really bad and that was really embarrassing what you did. Really fucking scummy. And not to also get biblical too much, but there is a special place in hell for people who are traitors, who backstab people. It is the lowest level of hell, and trust me, nobody wants to go there. And maybe I am reacting to this a little bit emotionally, but it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Nux Taku. It doesn't matter if it's Silvervale. It doesn't matter who it is. I've always had a profound hatred for people that don't really stand by their friends, stab them in the back. I made a video that was scathing towards Mudahar. Why? Because I made a video called Post Nux Clarity and threw Nux Taco under the bus. Why? Because he got a little bit of pushback, a little bit of heat from Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker, terrorist supporter Hassan Piker. Man, oh man, oh man, did that make me heated. But anyway, we're going to watch this video, and if at any point I think that, okay, he's just dragging on, then I will make the decision to, pull the ripcord. But we're going to let this guy speak. This is the video that he sent me in rebuttal to what I said. So this must be just a stunning indictment of myself and what I said.
I'm definitely going to be speaking about a subject that is a little bit more heavy and something that, it's not necessarily pleasant. But seeing as I am someone that has been canceled on the internet multiple times for some of the most dumb reasons imaginable, I feel like I'm a good candidate. What are those reasons, you may ask? Well, one of them being me just being too old to enjoy anime. That's right. This grown-ass man can't enjoy anime anymore. That's right. You have to give it up, even though grown-ups make anime.
All right. This is a video. This is a video that is supposed to be about people that are being bullied by the trans and LGBT community and their quote-unquote allies in some of the most brutal and vicious ways imaginable. And this guy equates it to him being made fun of for being an adult that likes anime. Now, I would never make fun of this guy for being an adult that likes anime. It's the same argument that I heard years ago about video games. So video games are for kids. Entertainment and art is entertainment and art. There's absolutely no reason why you can't be an adult and enjoy it. However, to even mention this in comparison to what these other people went through, I don't know this guy that intimately well, but I have a feeling that they didn't create an app to track when Lost Pause went online because they were bullying him for being an adult that likes anime. There is absolutely no comparison between what Pikami and, more specifically, Silvervale went through and what this guy goes through. Do you understand? Starting up the video making this false equivalency is not exactly... This doesn't give me hope for the type of video that I was actually kind of expecting it to be, which was a full-throated endorsement, because if this isn't a full-throated endorsement of Silvervale and a complete and total condemnation of the people that are doing this, then why would you even post this to me and counter to what I said? Is this like a troll? Are you wasting my time?
Wouldn't have anime if it wasn't for the majority of the adults making anime, drawing anime, producing anime. I don't know what, the internet's a weird thing. But this particular subject is coming out because there was a certain indie VTuber that is very well known that was a bit attacked by the internet, Twitter, on her stream itself, people just coming in, hate rating, just saying, what are you doing? And that was Pikame. If you don't know who that is, very cute little gremlin thing that's named after a Pika mouse thing. I don't know, maybe a fellow Pokemon something lover. It shall not be named for legal reasons. Some people may recognize.
I'm trying to be as charitable as I possibly can be in this video. I understand that some people have a nervous tick when they're nervous. That's why it's called the nervous tick. And so they sort of laugh. It was seen in the Joaquin Phoenix movie Joker. So I'm not gonna hold that against him like he's taking light of the situation. Although his tone does seem to be a little more nonchalant than I would have expected. But I'm not gonna hold that against him. I'm not. But so far, this video hasn't mentioned Silvervale once. Admittedly, we're about 10 seconds in. We're about 10% into the video. Hasn't mentioned Silvervale once. Hasn't really gotten to who is doing this or why. Like very, very basic, brief stuff. Not really touching much on it. But maybe in the next little bit, he'll get to it.
Her as a tea kettle, which, to be fair, I think she is a gajinkified tea kettle. Anyway, there was some tweets that were made, and it was very sad to see this here. They're now deleted, though, but one of them said, "I'm very sorry that I will cancel today's stream. See you guys in the next stream." And then her explaining it, saying, "I'm just a kettle who wants to play the game. Playing this game doesn't mean I'm supporting something specific. I just want to play the game. That's all. I hope everyone will have a wonderful day." And obviously people were making a huge stink, which is why she tweeted this on Twitter and also on her streaming platform. So, you know, it's just like over the top, especially if someone who's just this freaking innocent, this cute little gremlin that just makes fun video game content, and people are just going ham and just going at her throat. And I've seen some of the messages on Twitter. No, I'm not going to pull them up because I don't want to even give them the attention that they want and crave so desperately, because it's dumb. Now you may be asking at this point, okay, what was this game that got everybody so riled up? And you may know it, it's Harry Potter. That's right, the little wonderful wizard book that's been around since my childhood, in fact, that blew up, got tons of movies, and the franchise definitely just took over the world by storm. It's in theme parks now, literally everywhere. And the next question that's logical here, if you don't know what's going on, is why are people upset over this wizard game? And that's because the author, J.K. Rowling, you know, may or may not be against certain trans things or other things like that. I can't say for certain. She could be. I'm not going to defend her in any method here. I don't personally know her. And so people are using this as an excuse to boycott the game because she's against certain ideals that they have in their head, and they want to attack literally anyone and everyone that is playing this specific game. And yes, I've even seen people that post up people who have all streamed the game itself, so people can go around and boycott.
Good on him for bringing that up. This is probably one of the most I don't know how to put it. This video explains nothing. Like, the reason why these transgender freaks, these disgusting, abominable, cruel, malicious people are talking about and targeting innocent people like Pikami and Silvervale is because they want to brutalize the most innocent and the weakest targets, to go after them, to bully them into doing what they want to do. And it's the trans community, it's the LGBT community, and it's their allies on the far left. That's who it is. And the reason they're doing that is because they're mentally ill, they're disgusting, they're degenerate, they're power hungry, and they want to send a message by any means necessary, and they think that the ends always justify the means. And they're willing to use anyone in order to send that message, no matter if they're innocent. Yeah, basically this guy has said nothing in 3 minutes and 44 seconds.
It's just completely over the top behavior. And I do say over the top because I think it's actually dumb, because this game itself is probably one of the most friendliest trans games that I have.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. We're gonna jump ahead, and then I'm gonna give my thought. I'm gonna see. This guy's literally trying to placate the trans community in this video by not really going too hard on them, as they are viciously and brutally and without remorse or compassion going after innocent people and trying to destroy their career and reputation to the point where they're in tears. They're making videos in tears. They have to stop streaming. And this guy wants to pussyfoot around and play with this game because he's too much of just a complete and total nonce, a complete and total beta male to address this topic honestly and accurately and forthrightly, and to identify who's doing it and why. The fact is that by not addressing it head on and being forthright, and I understand that not everyone is going to have the testicular fortitude to do this, but at the bare minimum, if you don't have the ability to call this out, then maybe you could not jump in and support the trans community during the midst of this. Like, maybe you could do that. Like, no, guys, the game is actually pretty trans friendly. I'm just wondering, does this guy mention Silvervale at all? Like, I want to see if is there a transcript for this? I want to see, show transcript. All right, let's see. Find Silver. Really? He doesn't say Silvervale once? Are you serious? Not one time? No, come on. He's got to say it once. He sent this to me as a refutation.
And it just makes me sad because Pigame is just an indie VTuber, so it's way easier to go after her than people like, say, in Hololive or VShojo or whatever, Niji Sanji, because it's like way easier.
Wait a minute. So you mentioned Pigame as an indie VTuber, and then you talk about this sort of nebulous thing of like all these different groups. No, it was specifically one person in one group. It was VShojo, and it was Silvervale. Why do you not say her name? I'm genuinely curious now. Why would you not say her name? Why would you not be forthright with the fact that it was her? Like, this is why I don't like these people. They're fake. And they're immature. And they're weird. And being weird is not a crime. But when you're being this completely nonchalant about somebody's life and business and reputation, it's no wonder that Silvervale has all of the trust issues that she does. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. And you want to send me this video as the, oh my God, little bro, what are you talking about? Really? Because I'll tell you what it seems like to me. It seems like you thought this video was a refutation on what I said specifically about Silvervale, backstabbing Silvervale. I didn't mention Pigame once, and you posted me a video about Pigame that was one of the most childish, immature, nonchalant, oh guys, something happened somewhere, this kind of bad thing happened, but yeah, but I don't want to know, I don't want to know or say why J.K. Rowling, she may be this. Dude, grow a pair of balls. Good God. Grow a pair of balls and at least say it with your whole chest. Hey, these freaks, these disgusting, bottom-feeding, subhuman freaks are going after an innocent person you apparently know, right? You apparently know. Maybe you're not friendly with Silvervale. I don't know. Maybe you're just an acquaintance. But they're trying to destroy her life and reputation. And you make a video about Pigame. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I am so far beyond your level that it is embarrassing that you even stepped up to the plate with that garbage. Get out of here. And you may have your audience to glaze you and it's going to be all right with the toxic positivity bullshit, the mentally ill garbage. But here's the truth. And I can say this to you because I'm not part of your audience. I'm not looking to kiss your ass. I'm not looking to be part of your fan club. Dude, you had an opportunity to do something pretty amazing, to be somebody that actually supported Silvervale during that time when no one else would. No one else from VShojo would. Now, I was. You saw the video 2 years ago. I was supporting Silvervale, not because she owed me anything or I owed her anything or because we were friends or acquaintances, because it was the right thing to do. And I said it with my whole chest. And I took the slings and arrows and I took the consequences. There were people that were in the Iron Mouse fan club and other fan clubs that were kind of upset with me at the time. I didn't give a shit because it was the right thing to do. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to talk about this real quick. This isn't a drama that's going to be ongoing, I don't think. I have a feeling this guy dropped this video and then he's not going to say anything. He's going to go radio silent, probably block me after this video because he has no refutation for this. He has no refutation for this at all. There's no justification for his behavior. And then instead of taking responsibility and be like, yeah, that was a long time ago, I was wrong. Yeah, I look back on that. I'm humiliated by that. I'm embarrassed by that. That's accountability. That is putting your ego aside and being humble. Like, yeah, I really fucked up. You decide to take a hostile and aggressive approach, which I admit, I took a hostile and aggressive approach first because I don't like you. Because you did something wrong and then you refuse to admit you were wrong. And then you double down and you play this sort of chicken shit childish game. Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me just say at the end, I don't want a single person going to Noble's channel or Lost Pause channel or a social media and doing anything on my behalf. I don't need anyone sticking up for me. I don't need anyone going out there and, you know, I can take care of myself. I'm a big boy. Whatever may come, I'm a big boy. I'll handle it on my own. Believe me. I don't need people to protect me from Lost Pause. And if he has an issue with anything that I'm saying, if he has an issue with the way that I present this, you're welcome on my channel. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation. Now, you would never do it because you know. And by the way, I'd be totally fine. I'd be totally cordial. I'm not going to come on here. Maybe I'd insult you a little bit, but you know, I can be cordial if I want to, right? So it wouldn't be a thing of I would just come here to just absolutely destroy you. But the reality is, the fact that you sent me that video is pretty embarrassing and tells me that you have no idea about the level of person that you're dealing with here. And that's not really to glorify myself. Actually, it's more so to kind of put you down. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.